Welcome, everyone. Okay, let's just get right into it. If you're even slightly interested in Vedic astrology, you probably already know your moon sign. You might be a Taurus, a Cancer, or an Aries. But what if I told you that knowing your moon sign is kind of like knowing the brand of a computer without having absolutely any idea what's actually under the hood? Today, in this explainer, we are completely tearing down our cosmic architecture and going way, way beyond the basic 12 zodiac signs. We're going to explore the ancient, hyper-precise system of the 27 Nakshatras. So, get ready because we're about to decode the actual, literal wiring of your personality.
I want you to imagine yourself and your astrological birth chart as a high-tech smart device, right? Maybe you're a sleek laptop, a powerful desktop, or the absolute latest smartphone. Most people, when they look at astrology, they stop at the outer brand or just the basic operating system. But the real magic, that happens deep inside at the component level. If you're only looking at your basic sign, you are barely scratching the surface of how your emotional system truly operates behind the scenes.
Let's break this device metaphor down completely, step by step, because this brilliantly illustrates how a chart is actually built from the outside in. Step 1 is your ascendant, or lagna. Think of this as the outer casing, or the industrial design of your device. It's your external appearance, how you look, how you behave, and how you interact with the world. If you're a Leo ascendant, your device is bold, it's stylish, and it's built to stand out, kind of like a premium flagship model. It's your very first impression. Step 2 is your moon sign. Now we're opening up the casing and looking inside. The moon sign is your motherboard. This is the central system governing your emotional wiring and your mental processing. For example, if your moon is in Aquarius, your internal motherboard is futuristic, it's logical, and it's wired for innovation. But here is the absolute crucial point. Step 3. Digging even deeper. The nakshatra your moon falls in is the chipset. Every moon sign contains 2 to 3 of these nakshatras, and they act like totally different versions of a processor. If your chipset is Ashwini, you are a fast, highly responsive chip, quick to act and full of energy. But if your chipset is Bharani, sitting right next door in the exact same sign, you run on a much more intense, deep processing architecture. Your nakshatra actually defines your core instincts and your most subconscious traits.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Your astrological smart device. 2. The 27 lunar mansions. 3. Master clocks. 4. The Nakshatra chipset catalog. And 5. Why nakshatras matter most.
All right, diving into section 1, your astrological smart device.
The 12 signs are actually a relatively coarse division of the sky. Each of the 12 zodiac signs spans a broad 30 degrees of the 360-degree zodiac. Basically, it gives you the general climate. But the nakshatra system, it divides that exact same sky into 27 equal parts of exactly 13 degrees and 20 minutes each. This finer, much more granular division is actually the original astronomical instrument of Jyotish. It literally predates the 12-sign zodiac in the Indian astronomical tradition. So while your moon sign gives you the overall climate, your nakshatra gives you the specific, high-resolution terrain. It remains without a doubt one of the most precise tools ever created for understanding human nature.
Moving right along to section 2, the 27 lunar mansions. So you might be wondering, why the number 27? Well, the moon takes approximately 27.3 days to complete a full circuit around the zodiac. This means that the moon spends roughly 1 day in each of these specific sections of the sky. That is exactly why they have always been associated with the moon's movement, and it's why the nakshatra that the moon is in on the exact day you are born is considered the absolute most important nakshatra in your entire birth chart. By definition, the word nakshatra means star or lunar mansion, and each of the 27 nakshatras is associated with a specific star or star cluster in the night sky. But the precision doesn't stop there. It's like a giant puzzle. Each of these 27 lunar mansions is further divided into 4 padas, which are quarters consisting of 3 degrees and 20 minutes each. Now, if you do the math and multiply 27 nakshatras by 4 padas, you get exactly 108. This means there are 108 nakshatra padas in total across the entire zodiac. If you've ever wondered why 108 is such a sacred foundational number in the Indian tradition, well, this is the precise astronomical reason why. Which brings us to section 3, master clocks, the Vimshottari Dasha.
The 27 nakshatras are assigned to 9 planetary lords in a strictly repeating sequence, and these planetary rulerships form the absolute backbone of a 120-year cycle called the Vimshottari Dasha. It follows a very strict timeline, K2 for 7 years, Venus for 20, the Sun for 6, the Moon for 10, Mars for 7, Rahu for 18, followed by Jupiter for 16, Saturn for 19, and finally Mercury for 17. Here's what's absolutely fascinating about this. The Moon's Nakshatra at your exact time of birth determines exactly where in this massive cycle you begin your life. If you're born with your moon in Rohini, which is a moon-ruled nakshatra, you begin your life in the Moon Dasha. Born in Ardra, you start in the Rahu Dasha. The nakshatra is literally a highly precise timing mechanism dictating which chapter of life you experience at what exact age.
All right, Section 4, the Nakshatra chipset catalog. Let's unbox these processors.
We are going to begin with the K2-ruled chipsets. First up is Ashwini. This processor is all about pure speed and healing. If you have this, you are wired for rapid movement, quick starts, and initiating sudden healing. Next is Magha. This chipset grants intense ancestral pride and royal authority. It's a processor that deeply values inherited power, connecting you to the achievements and the authority of your lineage. Then we have Mula. This is a profound chipset wired for uprooting. It drives you to dig incredibly deep to find your true foundations, completely destroying superficial things in the process. Moving over to the Venus chipsets. First is Bharani. This processor gives incredible endurance. It's built to handle extreme transformation, managing the heavy burdens of life, and even the concepts of death and rebirth. Next, Purva Falguni. This Venus chipset is wired for pure pleasure, relaxation, and boundless creativity. It's a highly aesthetic processor that just wants to enjoy the sweetness of life. Rounding out Venus is Purva Ashadha. This chipset grants invincible pride and an absolute masterclass level of persuasion. If you're running this, you have an unshakable confidence in your own abilities.
Now for the Sun-ruled chipsets. We start with Kritika. This is the fire of purification. This processor operates with incredibly high standards, meant to burn away imperfections and find clarity. Then Uttara Falguni. This Sun chipset brings a massive social conscience and deep reliability. It's the processor of dependable friendship, alliances, and supporting others. Next is Uttara Ashadha. This provides genuine principle-driven leadership. It's an architecture built for undeniable victory, but only through righteous, structured authority. Switching to the Moon-ruled chipsets. Rohini is first, and it is all about extreme beauty, abundance, and fertility. It's highly receptive and focused on cultivating material and aesthetic growth. Then we have Hasta. This Moon chipset gives remarkable practical intelligence and manual dexterity. It is the processor of practical craft, literally using your hands to shape your reality. And Shravana. This processor is built for listening. It grants exceptional receptive wisdom, absorbing deep knowledge simply by tuning in to the world around you.
Moving right along to the Mars processors. Mrigashira is the first one, and it is restless, highly curious, and constantly searching. It's a chipset that is always on the hunt for the next experience. Chitra is next. This processor directs highly precise, skilled action toward aesthetic craft. It's about creating dynamic, beautiful structures and shining brilliantly. Dhanishta rounds out Mars. This one is disciplined, often bringing rhythmic talent and a deep connection to community abundance and shared wealth. Now, brace yourself for the intense Rahu chipsets. Ardra is first. This processor brings the storm. It requires destruction before renewal, running on intense emotional energy and unusual intelligence. Then Swati. This Rahu chipset offers incredible independence and adaptability. It's built to survive and thrive, especially when placed in completely foreign environments. And Shatabisha. This grants highly unconventional healing abilities. It's a processor with a deep, almost obsessive pull toward understanding hidden laws and secrets.
Next up, the Jupiter chipsets. Punarvasu is the processor of ultimate renewal, philosophical generosity, and profound resilience. It always bounces back. Vishaka is next, and it is fiercely ambitious. This Jupiter chipset gives a single-minded, relentless determination toward achieving specific goals. Then Purva Bhadrapada. This one directs its intensity toward a passionate, philosophical fire. It's a powerful, visionary processor that burns through illusions. Contrasting these are the Saturn chipsets. Pusha offers steadfast, disciplined care and quiet devotion. It is a highly nurturing processor built for providing stability. Anuradha is next. This Saturn chipset gives fierce emotional loyalty that survives absolutely any difficulty. It is wired for deep, unyielding alliances. And Uttara Bhadrapada. This grants profound depth, very deliberate slow speech, and a deeply calming stillness that can weather any storm.
To finally complete our massive catalog, we have the Mercury chipsets. Ashleisha is a highly complex architecture of cunning intelligence and deeply hidden intuition. It's incredibly sharp and calculating. Jyotish is next. This gives a highly strategic mind, but one that is tasked with the heavy emotional burden of authority. It's the processor of the eldest, responsible for protecting others. And finally, Revati. This is the 27th chipset, completing the entire zodiac circuit. It grants gentle, compassionate empathy, and it possesses a truly unique gift for ensuring safe journeys and guiding things to a peaceful end.
Okay, moving to our final section, Section 5. Why Nakshatras matter most. Let's actually run a benchmark test here to see this in action. Imagine two completely different people who both have the planet Jupiter in the exact same sign of Sagittarius. If you just look at the sign, you'd probably assume their Jupiters function the exact same way, right? But let's check the Nakshatras. Person A has their Jupiter in Mula. Because Mula is a K2-ruled chipset, this Jupiter expresses its wisdom through uprooting and seeking deep foundations. This person might literally have to go through periods of profound loss before their true wisdom emerges. Now look at person B. They have Jupiter in Purva Ashara, which is Venus-ruled. Their Jupiter expresses wisdom through persuasion, through beauty and invincibility. This person operates with inspired confidence and easily persuades and inspires others.
Same planet, same sign, completely different expression. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that nakshatras add the critical texture, the nuance, and the specificity that a basic sign placement alone simply cannot provide. This precision layer is the practical, everyday reason why two astrological charts that look identical on the surface can produce two wildly different life experiences.
And the crazy part is how beautifully structured this system is, because it scales perfectly. Remember those 4 padas we talked about earlier? Well, each of a nakshatra's 4 padas corresponds directly to a zodiac sign, in order: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and so on. This creates a direct mathematical link to the 9th divisional chart, known as the Navamsa. A planet in the first pada occupies an Aries Navamsa. The 4th pada occupies a Cancer Navamsa. This proves, without a doubt, that nakshatra analysis and Navamsa analysis are not competing or separate systems. They are perfectly aligned windows into the exact same underlying architecture.
Which brings us to the end of our deep dive. You now know that stopping at your moon sign is literally like admiring the paint job on a supercomputer without ever actually turning it on. The 27 nakshatras are the ultimate processors, dictating your timing, your inner terrain, and your truest self. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. If your outer casing and your basic motherboard are just the beginning, what specific chipset is actually powering your cosmic architecture underneath? It might just be time to check your own specs. Thanks for learning with me today, and keep exploring.